everyone and welcome back to the channel for today's video. So in today's video I wanted to decorate with the new orchard villa that we got in the Moonstone bundle. Obviously if you don't recognize this, it does come in a bundle with some moonstones, like the seasonal one. We also got the outfit I'm wearing as well. So that is where this house skin is from, but I wanted to create a kind of romantic vineyard for this build. I actually decided to put it up here in the phobia because I loved that we had the windmills up on the hills behind. I felt like it just fits so perfectly to create like this Grecian vineyard vibe. So I actually decided to put it up here in Mount Olympus, but I could definitely incorporate this into other places as we obviously have the windmills in our furniture menu anyway. But for now I wanted to pop it up here and start decorating with it, so let's get started. So as you can see, I've placed out a bunch of the furniture I knew I'd probably use for this build. I wanted to keep it feeling very, very natural and quite rural. So as you can see, I've started by placing in some of the pathway pieces that I knew I'd probably use so that I could start mapping in where I wanted the grape kind of field courtyard to go. You could definitely make these grape fields a lot bigger. I just decided not to because I didn't want to overwhelm the space too much and take away from the actual house itself. But as you see, I use some of the casita walls from the Premium Shop to map out this area that is going to be for the grape fields and give them this nice little courtyard area. I obviously had to play around with these for a while to get them to work and to fit properly and to figure out my spacing of everything, but these are the main ones I used to kind of section it off, but you could definitely do the grape fields without doing this. In this build I wanted to create three main sections, obviously one of the biggest ones being the little courtyard where the grape fields are going to go. I also wanted to create a seating area to feel like people would come here and like test and taste the wine that they're making, which obviously included a bunch of the little tables and chairs that come with the house skin like bundle thing, and also some others as well. I wanted it to really feel like somewhere people would come and test things out or even just hang out outdoors of the house. And then the other little section I wanted to make was a little washing line kind of area to make it feel like a lot more homely. I wanted it to feel like people actually lived here and this is kind of just what they did in their spare time. I also changed out some of the pathway to some of the little flagstone rugs that we get in the Storybook Vale store now since the update. And kind of chop and change some things about to get these different areas set up, as well as include a nice big fountain that I definitely felt like matched the vibe of this whole area. Now, as well as that, in this build, as you can tell, a lot of the furniture I'm using is actually a lot of the craftable things, so like the barrels and the crates and things like that. These are a really good thing to use because obviously they are just from the crafting table, so they're kind of accessible to everyone, as long as you obviously have the resources to craft them, and they really, really give off this kind of rustic, natural vibe. I wanted it to really feel like the barrels were filled with grapes and wine and things like that, and obviously things like hay bales and stuff like that worked well as well to give it that kind of rustic feel. So I kind of wanted it to feel like that more so by the courtyard where the grapes are grown, and then obviously on the other side of the house is more so like the seating area where things are a little bit more structured. And once I'd worked on that, I then started mapping out the entrance kind of point of the house. Obviously this area is kind of a standalone area for now and hasn't got anything else around it in this biome, so it was kind of difficult to figure out where things were going to go, but I decided to use some of the new marble fences and the craftable tapestry trees to create just these really cute centerpieces to introduce you into the area and kind of fit with that Grecian vibe that I was going for. Once I'd added some of the warm candle lighting around most of the build, I then started going in with foliage. I obviously started off with some of these smaller plants just to kind of get those mapped in, and then I started adding the bigger trees. Now obviously as this is up in Mythopia, I obviously did use a lot of the plants that we got from that biome, so there's a lot of like yellow trees and yellow and orange plants, but I do try and keep it as different as possible. I do obviously add some of the base game plants as well as the Taiyaki plants, so there is a big mix. But when it came to the kind of original ones I was popping in, I added in ones that really did fit the biome, and then obviously expanded that out to add some more of the basic ones as well. Now, one of the final touches I did in the build was to add some beach grass into the more overgrown areas. I just felt like it made it look a lot more rural and kind of gave me that foresty vibe that I tend to go for. And then I also do go in and add some of the sunlit plateau grass as well, as you'll see in these kind of big random open areas. I use some of the different types that we have to obviously fit with the yellow theme of where this build is, and then added in some final trees to block out some of the edges and kind of give it this coverage that I wanted it to have. So as you can see, this is the final build. So we are coming in from the kind of entrance point I'd made, where we've got the two little areas in the marble fences with the trees and the plants, and then we've got our pathway leading us into where the house is. We've got some barrels and crates and things like that as we go in, and then we've got the floral stone wall that I crafted from the crafting table in front of these little tables where I've added some food and some glasses of wine and things like that to obviously fit the theme, and I wanted this to feel very, very cozy and warm. Then outside the front of the house, we've obviously got a little bike and some flowers to keep it feeling very homely, as if people actually do live here. And then we've obviously got our jasmine fountain, which I added some fountain tiles underneath to just give it a bit more of an effect with the water and make it look a little bit more fancy. And then on the other side of the house, we've obviously got our little washing line area with a little rocking chair. I felt like it just felt like maybe the older generations who live here would come and sit out here, and this would be their like little spot to hang out. Then as we head through into the casita walls, we can see we've obviously got our grape fields. I did these off camera just because obviously it was just me digging the holes and planting them, but these are obviously from Eternity Isle, so I did plant a bunch of those in there, but you could plant any crops you wanted to in here. Doesn't have to be grapes. I just went for the vineyard theme to go with the house, but you could definitely make it like a quaint little farm. Now that we can move Wally's farm over to the different maps, I feel like this would be a really cute item to use over here, and have it be more like kind of a rustic farm area. I feel like would be a great alternative, so that is also an option. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you like what I came up with. As soon as I saw this house, I knew I wanted to create this kind of vibe, and Mythopia ended up being the place that I felt like it worked the best for me. I don't know if it will stay here forever, but we shall see. But if you did enjoy the video, please do like and subscribe. It helps me out so much, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!